Guess what Jeremy Piven guested on George Janko's podcast. This was great to see. You know, comedians hate Piven. Jeremy Piven started doing stand-up comedy after his Me Too. I hope I'm getting the timing right. And the comedians hated Jeremy Piven. I remember he tried to come into the Comedy Store a bunch of times, and everybody, they wouldn't welcome him in. They treated him like shit. I thought he was great on George Janko's podcast. Wait till you see this. We got a house diss. I don't know if somebody comes up. I don't know how much of George Janko's house you guys have seen, but I've been dissing his house for years. This is what's so weird about George Janko's house. George Janko lives in the same apartment that he got when he moved to L.A. in 2017. We don't know why. George Janko's obviously rich by now. You know what I mean? With all the stuff that he does.
He gotta be.
Obviously could afford a better apartment. He still lives in this starter apartment. I've talked about it. Remember when Chris D'Elia was on the show and went to a party at George Janko's house? I talked about how crazy that was because George lives in a little kid's apartment. It's decorated like somebody's first apartment. It's all white walls. Everything is so blazing white. I mean, you can see it here. Everything's white, white, white. The couches, everything is either a shade of gray, light gray, or white. I mean, it really is bizarre. And they've got, for the podcast, of course, we got to do this to our set one day, is set up cans of something everywhere. This is the new thing these jerks do. Is there anything uglier than this? Is this helping to sell the product? Is this what the companies intended when they said, make sure to get the can in the shot? Did they mean put 100 cans all over the room? To me, that cheapens the product. That makes me think something suspicious is going on. I can't believe all these podcasts are doing this now. I don't know where they got this idea that that's what the brand want. And if the brands do want this, that's fucking crazy. Again, it's cheapening the product. There's nothing cheaper than a Celsius can, by the way. I mean, the design is horrendous. There's writing all over. Each can is a completely different concept as far as design goes. And he's got them all over. Remember, George is sponsored by Celsius. We're going to go to 30 minutes, and Jeremy Piven finally says it. You know,
no, it's right at the beginning.
Or 30 seconds, I mean. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. That's what I meant. 30 seconds, because we got the stupid intro, right?
Yeah.
And we don't want to see that. That blows everything. Here's Piven, and this is the first thing that comes out of his mouth.
After they pass on, they look after us. I really do feel like he does.
All right. Sir, before we get into anything, you walked into my house and you said, you don't live here.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
It feels...
Ooh, and I love how Janko doesn't get it. And he doesn't even get it after this explanation. So Jeremy Piven, star of HBO's Anta, one of the finest shows that O has ever had. And again, you know, I would kill to see the show. Just keep making episodes for life. It doesn't even have to be good. Just keep making the episodes for life. He walks into George's house, and finally someone says it. He goes, you don't live here, do you? And George didn't understand what he was implying. Listen to this.
All right. Sir, before we get into anything, you walked into my house and you said, you don't live here.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
It feels like we're in the witness protection program, and someone...
trying to be nice.
And I say this with love.
Is it?
No. Well, no. I feel like everything is matching really well.
That's bad.
And it looks staged. It looks like a home that has been staged to sell.
Whoa.
It doesn't
You trying to buy?
I wouldn't buy.
This is going right over in that stupid Shauna Della Rica.
Fist bumped her.
They don't get it. And he's doing the polite way of saying this house looks so cheap and fake and dumb. And he's going, everything kind of match. And what kind of an asshole even says this, by the way? I mean, how rude could you be? Imagine going into somebody's house and saying this to them. And he's saying everything's matching. It looks like the witness protection program. And what was his last comment there? That
Staged to sell.
Staged to sell.
It doesn't necessarily...
You trying to buy?
I wouldn't buy this place. No.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
Sell. It doesn't necessarily...
You trying to buy?
I wouldn't buy this place. No, I thank you, though.
I get on the phone with him. I'm like, are you at the Walgreens parking lot? He goes, unfortunately, I am.
So you make Jeremy Piven go to the Walgreens parking lot by your house, and then what, you go meet him and bring him up to this fucking kid's apartment? This little fucking kid's starter apartment? Come on. I mean, George Janko, let's go. And it doesn't even occur to him. Doesn't even occur to him that a guy like this doesn't want to sit. He's graduated from this apartment 40 years ago. He shouldn't be sitting in an apartment like this.
Like a Walgreens parking lot. I'm like, wait, why? I have to learn how to say no more often.
I have to learn how to say no more. I mean, that's just very rude. I don't know why Janko's laughing.
Circling a Walgreens parking lot. I'm like, wait, why? I have to learn how to say no more often. What am I doing?
It's a circus.
I gotta
out
go
there.
to just like a seminar where they just like show you how to say no.
Right.
Yeah.
But so like
Wait, hold on. Just the parking lot and the staged home.
wait, matching in a bad way or in a good way?
Obviously in a bad way.
Shauna Della Dama.
What an
Like
angel.
matching in a bad... She's just clueless
She didn't
about
even
this.
know there was matching in
She
a bad
thought this
way.
apartment looked great.
Well, he always talks about how hard she works on it.
I mean, there's nothing to be seen here. The apartment is bare. I've been talking about this apartment, I'm telling you, for years.
Parking lot and the staged home.
Wait, matching in a bad way or in a good way?
Obviously in a bad way. He wants to say no, Val.
Saying you don't have any personality.
No, I'm saying it all feels. I celebrate you, and I love this. It just looks very. You know when things are like monochromatic and they're very premeditated.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know it's almost like you're what's the word? A serial killer.
I'm a Syrian.
Yeah.
I'm close.
Okay. Nice. Very nice.
He grabs his phone. Yeah, I gotta leave.
I like your perspective. I'm going to take that as a compliment.
No. I
don't
because it
think
means
you
that
should. I don't
it's
think you should
going
take it as
well
that.
together, you know.
No.
I like
No, it
that.
all works.
I
It
think
all
the
works.
lights are throwing you off.
No.
That's the
No,
serial
you guys
killer.
are
That's a
very
big part of it.
professional situation here. I like it. Let's get into it.
Poor
Okay,
girl.
very nice. I love that. Finally, somebody fucking disses one of these sets. Right? That's all I'm thinking about. Do we have a
here's
bonus
one more house-related.
House-related 11140. Let's
oh,
check that out.
you can.
Oh.
I just thought that it ended
Oh, sure.
awkwardly, but you can show it.
What's
you
that?
don't have to do this time code.
I don't. Okay, well, what do I do from here?
I put another one in next up.
Yeah, 11140, right? Oh, no, we're done with Piven, you're saying.
But you could show 11140.
Yeah,
11140.
11140. I thought this was funny, yeah. 11140.
So George asked some boring questions
Boring
about spirituality and
questions.
stuff
It was
for the
really
full time.
pathetic.
Very boring.
It's such a great, fun, fertile premise to talk about, to be a really old white dude still dating. This is how you know you're old. I used to look at a girl in a short skirt. I'd be like, God damn, she's hot. Now I'm like, I wonder if she's cold.
Ooh, that's part of his stand-up.
That's the type of hilarity you will see, kids, at the Brea Improv.
That's one of his jokes.
Let's go.
Yay. Can we end this? I feel like I can't tell if
Absolutely.
we've been here for 2 minutes or 3 days.
It was been 1 hour
Can
and
we
17
end
beautiful
this?
minutes. Thank you
Yes.
so much for coming.
Thank you,
and
guys.
sharing.
That was all.
After an hour, can we end this, please? Why would you go on this show? Who is hooking this up? That was great. George Janko. I can't recommend watching that show, but we'll show you if anything good happens.